Wow, wow, wow. Third in the Champions League. A massive win on German soil. Aston Villa 3, Red Bull Leipzig 2. What a game. So much to get into. If you are new around here, make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and get in the comment section because this one is going to be wild. I cannot get my head around this one, and I don't think you guys can either because that was absolutely nuts. That was nuts. The super subs saved us. Super subs saved us again because that was massive from Villa. That was massive. We've had quality attacking play today. We've had terrible defensive play today. And we've had that same old Villa. We never do it the easy way, do we? We never do it the easy way. We do it the Villa way. So big up to all of you in here right now. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe. Get in the comments. I need to hear your thoughts because my head's absolutely gone at that game. That was absolutely calamity central for both teams in a weird way. But what an enjoyable game. We've got the Duran impact. We've got the Ross Barkley impact. We've got the fact of the weirdest goals conceded between Carlos and Emi. We've got Morgan Rogers looking excellent again. Ollie Watkins, conversation around him. So much to talk about. Where do we get into? I don't know. But big up to anyone. It's nuts. It's nuts. So please do, as I said, show your support by smashing the like button, subscribing, and let me hear your thoughts on this one. Red Bull 2, Villa 3. We've done it again in the Champions League in beautiful, beautiful style. Like, for me, it's all about that league table position now. It is all about the mighty Villa sat third in the Champions League. 13 points. Leipzig, we've kept their massive L streak going, and unlucky to them, but that's what you get for being a franchise. But we've got it. Unai Emery, bloody hell. This guy. Every time you go, Unai, your subs, Unai, is that a bit too late? Unai, why didn't you do that earlier? Nah, seriously. He's got to take credit tonight. He's got to take credit tonight. 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss in the Champions League. It's an unbelievable season. So big up to everyone in here. Great to see you. Great to see so many of you in here. Quite hard to believe it's only a few years ago playing away at Rotherham with 10 men. Exactly that. Third in the Champions League, says Super Matty. Massive credit to Unai tonight. Subs on the balance are bang on. Absolutely inject that third. Boom, boom, boom. Captain's in it. Angels in it. Adam Sky's in here. Big up. Lee Collison's in here. Saying about Mings, and we'll get on to the defense. Anana's in here. Let's hear it. Let's get on the hype because I have to say it is a hard game to break down when it's a win and it's a massive win. Let's not get this wrong. Let's not beat around the bush. This is a massive, massive win tonight. The manner in which we played going forward is something I've been calling out for Villa for a long time this season. Play with openness. Play with fluidity. Don't look too rigid. Get people committing numbers. And let's look every time we go forward like we have an idea of what we're doing. Second of all, okay, I have been asking for Morgan Rogers to just have that license to roam, and we got that. And in the first half, Unai Emery set up with a 3-2-4-1. And to really be clear, Luca Dean and Matty Cash basically had the license to be like wingers. Morgan Rogers and McGinn in behind Watkins. And that got Rogers and McGinn in the pockets of space that worked. And that's what we need to be doing more of in the Premier League. We have to be getting those key players, McGinn, your Rogers, in the pockets more and license to roam and kill. John McGinn for me had a brilliant game in there tonight, as did Morgan Rogers. McGinn's goal in the 3rd minute, as you can see above. Brilliant from Matty Cash. To get it on the right-hand side, drop in on his left, cross it to Watkins, header down, McGinn, right place, right time, arrives. And that, for me, started the tempo for us. And I just think that for Villa to build success this season and to continue this fluidity, we need Luca Dean as high as possible. We need Rogers and McGinn in that double pivot. And the rest builds. Kamara, wow. Once again, for me, unbelievably solid in that double pivot. It goes without noticing. And I just think that this Villa team is just growing and getting more solid. But that's what I want to see now each week. That. But what comes with that is the exploitation out of possession. Jesus Christ, guys. What do we do about stopping the defensive frailties of being done by one long ball? One long ball. outdone us for both goals. And the first one for me, people will say maybe it's Carlos's fault, maybe it's Emi Martinez's fault. I've got to put that one on Emi for me. He can see the whole picture. Carlos gets half a look on his shoulder. But between them, it's bloody schoolboy. Communication levels, where were they? Why was that not dealt with? Why did Villa get done all that great work we did for the first 25 minutes get undone by one long ball? Can't be happening like that. I think Villa's best period in that second half after conceding was basically coming into the 35th minute, where we pressed them high again. We turned over every ball. We suffocated them, and we couldn't get them out. And I feel like that our press was on point at times tonight, where we suffocated the team. They weren't allowed to play out from the back. We kept turning it over high, and we kept pushing the ball onto them. But we have to talk about the fact that Ollie Watkins again puts the ball in the back of the net. Disallowed because of offside. Had a few chances, doesn't come to his fruition. Yet the man that came on for him, John Duran, does it again and again and again and again. How does this guy have a knack of coming off the bench and scoring such important goals? And we're not talking about tap-ins either. We're talking about worldies. We're talking about screamers. We're talking about shots that, positions where you think, would you shoot from there? Well, John Duran does. And that's what I mean about this guy. He's scoring goals out of the unexpected. He's scoring goals out of nowhere, and we need it. We need it. So I think the Champions League is a massive competition for us in terms of, can we keep building momentum? Have we found the formula? And I want to know how you guys feel. Do you think we can go to good depths in this competition? Do you think that with Unai Emery, we have the tactical man to make impacts on one-off games? I'm actually starting to believe a little bit that this could be our cup to go on a run in. I actually believe that there is some scope to us having a bit of depth in this competition. I think we're the unknown side in terms of what we could bring. I think we've got a manager who's shown tactically those in-game tweaks are perfect. I also think we've got a manager who knows how to make a bit of a game plan before a game. So, massive. And I do agree. I'm seeing some of the comments. I am forgiving of Ollie Watkins. And nights like tonight show that the key margin, key difference is that clinical edge, which John Duran's bringing. And I get that, Meek, and I do. And Pete said, I fear we lose John Duran. I get that as well. This John Duran thing is going to be really interesting. We've got him on a new deal. We need to fend off any offers from him in January. We have to keep everyone away from him. He's going to be so important to lock down in January and make sure we don't get anywhere near them. But Morgan Rogers, for me, I say this with chest. Everything that's good with Villa always comes through Morgan Rogers. He has a way of just igniting us to the next level. Just watching the cool down now on TV, there's still players who didn't get on today. Onana, Tyrone Mings didn't get on. Matson getting 8 minutes. You got Philogene there. You got Ross Barkley, who's doing a cool down, gets 8 minutes. The squad is shaping up nicely. And I think that Ross Barkley goal is perfect for him. How big of a player has Ross Barkley been? Again, I talk about John Duran's impact off the bench. What about Ross Barkley? How many times is this guy coming off the bench and saving us? How many times is this guy coming off and showing a difference? Yeah, I think Kamara and Tielemans is your double pivot. And now Onana and Barkley are just going to have to wait their turn. So, look, I think Meekin's right. Without Duran, we would have been screwed. But we have got him on a new deal, and I think we're going to be all right. So, positives galore. We look better going forward today. I think we've seen a little tweak to the system, and I think we've seen the impact subs do their thing again. Big thing for me, though, is can we talk about the defensive line? Because it's clear, we're not changing this tactic. So how do you sort it? Do you believe, chat, and those who are watching on replay, that quite simply just changing personnel, bringing in Tyrone Mings, and bringing Consa Central, does that make Villa more defensively solid? Or is it the tactical idea of playing a high line where you're going to get killed over the top, and 9 out of 10 times you're going to catch an offside, but that one time they're going to get in? Is that the danger? Because I say this, us playing the high line is exactly what gets us pressing further forward and turning the ball over in the opposition's half. We squeeze up the pitch to win the ball higher. But when you play against pace and they put it in behind, we look vulnerable. So I want to know, Do you think a change of personnel would solve that crisis? Or do you actually think that it's just simply our defensive tactical plan and we need to find another way to balance it? By the way, before I go on, please make sure you smash the like button on this stream. I really do appreciate it. And I'm loving all your comments as well in amongst the chat. And big up to Lee Carlison. He's been the legend tonight. He's got us over the line as well. Our defense isn't a personnel issue. It's too poor, too inconsistently. And I think that's a great way to describe it, Meeks. I don't think it matters who you put in there. The way Unai wants us to play is going to have those moments. So that, for me, then means we have to then have maybe, a realization as a fan base that as long as we keep winning games, we're going to have moments like that again today where we get done by a long ball. If we keep winning, we can live with it. If we keep losing, it becomes a problem. And I think that's where we're at. It works when we're winning. When we're losing, it becomes a bit of a microscopic thing. So, yeah, it's interesting. But subs have done it again. Unai's done it again. So my question to you guys is, who's your player of the match today? Who do you feel like deserves to get the credit? Now, I'm torn between a few players. Sorry, there's one person I haven't given a bit of limelight to who should. Matty Cash played right wing today and was superb. Absolutely superb. Shame that he was offside for the Duran assist. He gave Duran a goal. It would have been his assist, but he was offside by a half a foot. But Matty Cash, for me, had that license to play a little bit further forward. Not worry about his defensive structure too much. Take on players. Have a bit more confidence. And I'm really happy for Matty Cash. He's a contender for player of the match for me. I think without saying, I think that you have to credit John Duran again to come off the bench when he did and score such early impact on a wonder goal. But I've got to say, I think Morgan Rogers for me is someone who just turns it on week after week after week. And yeah, he has one bad game every now and then. I think that comes down to fatigue and mastering the difficulties of this league. But I just think when I watch Rogers play, he cooks. He cooks. So who is your player of the match? Cash is getting a lot of shout outs. Do you give anyone else? I think for me, Matty Cash may have to take a bit of plaudits here and take the player of the match. I want to know what you guys think. But big up to Richard Edwards, the hype. My hype man, my legend, my AVFTS clan hype man. Big up to you. I like Cash going forward. I like his head down. I like it that he wants to take people on. And as he said, will this get the best out of Leon Bailey and Philogene? That all of a sudden, not only Matty Cash isn't taking their place, but let's just remember Kostin and Djokovic came on to that right wing. That's two fullbacks now taking wide positions. Hey, if it gets the best out of my wingers and there's competition, do it. So, stats are below. The data is there that actually the shots on goal for me, 8 shots on goal, is much better for us. We had 19 shots, 8 on goal, a very open game. I'm loving it. Big up to anyone who predicted 3-2. I know Fraser did. But Kamara, sorry, is another one. Pete is right. Kamara needs a shout out. He's probably in a contender for player of the match. But yeah, we are going to wrap this one up in a minute because it's been a long day. I just had to do this reaction to celebrate the fact that we are third in the Champions League. We look better going forward. There's more succinct energy about us. And of course, it takes us to a place of positivity going into Forest this weekend. Can we play like that against Forest this Saturday? We're going to have no problems at all, in my opinion. Just defensively, we're going up against Chris Wood. There'll be Elanga. There'll be Hudson-Odoi. There'll be some rapid wingers. But can we be defensively a bit more astute? And I have no qualms that if we play like that going forward in that system, we will win against Forest. And that's where focus turns to now. Just a little fact, I'm pretty sure, but we haven't won a game, I don't think, after Champions League. I might be wrong on that, but correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like I'm wrong on that one. I feel like I'm wrong, so ignore that. But let's go and get Forest. Let's go and beat Forest, and we'll obviously be covering that one. Chat, thank you for all your comments across today's match reaction, and of course, as well, thank you for all your comments in the watch along. I really appreciate you all out here. Come on, the Villa boys. What a way to end your Wednesday night, eh? Big up to Sir Razzie, Pete, Leonard, of course, Roy, Richard Edwards, my hype man, Lee Collison, Meekin, Angel, AVSC85. Big up to VJ. Big up to Prez. Big up to Canem. all of you lot in the house, Callum, Fraser, you lot have been unbelievable. Thank you if you've been watching this. Really do appreciate it. We're out of here in a second. And of course, shout out to these two. Do leave your comments if you're watching this on replay. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on this one. The Villa are third. And we're going to live in this bubble of Champions League football. On to Forest. We're out of here. Ta-da.